Here, user defined exceptions. Observe this one. Up to now we discuss predefined exceptions only. That predefined exceptions are defined by the Oracle people. So directly some errors are coming from our programs. That errors will be handled while using that predefined exceptions. Okay. Then now we want to create our own exceptions. Okay. I want to handle my exceptions, our own exceptions based on our programming logic. Okay. Here observe this one. We can also create our own exception names and also rise whenever it is necessary. We can define our own exceptions and also we can means apply that exception whenever it is necessary in our program, whenever it is required in our program. And these type of exceptions are called user defined exceptions. Okay. These exceptions are also divided into 3 steps and declare exception, rise exception, handle exceptions. So where we declare the exception? In declaration block. Okay. So now you tell me, in declaration session, what are the objects we possible to define? Variables, cursors, and exceptions. Up to now we declared variables and cursors. There is a new one. We are possible to declare exceptions also. Okay, and rise exception. The rise exception always will be possible in execution block. So because of the errors are coming from execution block only. That is the reason there exactly I want to rise my exception. That exception will be going to handle in exception block. And here declare exception here. This is the exception, user defined exception name, okay, whatever it may be. Suppose say example K online. It is a one of the exception name, but clearly tell to the machine it is a exception. It is a exception. Then only system is going to recognize, the Oracle engine is recognized it is a exception. Okay, and here syntax. Okay, and now rise exception. Rise exception here. Whenever it required rise user defined exception either in executable session or in exception session in this case we are using the rise keyword. We want to use the rise keyword. Without using rise keyword it does not possible to rise. So earlier predefined exceptions. Have you raised that predefined exceptions? Automatically the predefined exceptions will be specifying the exception block only. Okay, whenever we get the error is no data found, the no data found is a error. The error is coming from the execution block. That error will be going to handle by predefined exception, which is we specify into the exception block, right? But here it is not like that. We want to define the exception and also we want to rise that exception in our execution block when exactly it is required in our programming logic, right? Then now we are going to close that one. Let it be discussed one by one and handle the exception. Okay, here we can also handle user defined exception as same as predefined exception using predefined handler. Observe this one. How we can go to write that one? When user defined. How we can handle our exception, predefined exceptions. In exception block we can specify when no data found, when too many rows, when invalid cursor, when cursor already open, when 0 divided. So these all predefined exceptions will be handled in exception block. In the same manner we can handle our own exceptions also. When our exception, then we want to print some message. So something like that. So here we want to define our own exception. Say example, now I want to develop a simple program, then we can get the clarity. Now I want to write a simple user defined exception. Observe this one. Declare. In that declare, I am going to specify my exception. Okay, A. It is a exception. Then only Oracle engine is recognized. It is a exception. It is a exception. So whenever we specify the variable, we can clearly assign the data types. Okay, without the data types, can be possible to define the variable? We cannot possible. Whenever we assign the data type to that variable, now Oracle engine is recognized. It is a variable. It is a variable. And cursors, we clearly specify cursor name. Cursor name. That is that we are using the cursor keyword. Cursor is a keyword, right? Here also we are using exception. Exception is a keyword. Okay, and here we don't want any sizes. Just we can specify the exception only. It is a keyword. Now we can write begin. And just I am going to write that one. Why is that? Exception, and will be going to specify. Just I am going to write this one, and now check it what happened. Unhandled user defined exception. We define the exception, right? We declare the exception. We means raise the exception, but we cannot handle that exception. So whenever this exception is nothing but a error handling. Whenever the error is coming, exception is fired, and it is showing some message. So that is handle. So where we handle that exception? In exception block. Exception here. When A, then we want to print dbms output dot put line. Okay, dbms output dot put line. Then now I am going to write some message. It is user defined exception. It is user defined exception. Earlier also our program is correct. Now also our program is correct, but earlier it is showing some message. It is showing some message. Say example, here observe this one. I define some variables. Okay, and x is a number. Okay, x is a number of 2, and y is also number of 2, and z is a number, it is also 2. Okay, done. X and y. Okay, and how much space I specify in this one? 2 spaces, right? 2 characters. I'm giving 10 and 20, means my logic is addition of 2 numbers. 10 and 20, we don't get any problem. Okay, 10 plus 20, 30. 30 is accepted by the z variable, right? Then I'm giving 90 plus 10 or 50 plus 60. We are getting error. At the time I want to raise my error, sorry, my exception. Okay, then here observe this one. I start my begin. Okay, here I implemented my logic. What is our logic? Addition of 2 numbers, right? That data will be keeping this z. Okay, then here x plus y. X plus y. Then now, is there any error is occurred? Automatically, exception is going to fire. Rise A. Is there any error? Okay, automatically the error is going to find. Observation 10, 20. Sorry, here we didn't specify the message. Yes, we 1 second. DBMS output not put line. I want to print the jet. Okay, then here we are going to write here if, okay, z, okay, if z greater than 99. If z greater than 99 means 3 characters, automatically my exception is going to fire. Observe, very simple. Then enter. Yes. Then clear? So very simple program I am going to write here and let it check it. Then if you give 10 and 20, display the message. Our value. We are not getting our exception, right? But when I am giving 90 and 20, so numeric or value error. So here 1 second. Because of here exception is coming. Numeric or value error. Now I am giving 3. 90 plus 20. So here what happened, observe this one, it is a user defined exception, but also it is print our value. Okay, it is also print our value. Here it is print that one, because of we are going to, means we want to implement the different logics. Here what happened, whenever our execution, then here we clearly we want to write some other conditions. So we don't want to print this message whenever the value is more than 99. Okay, more than 99. That is purpose we want to write some other exception, means coming class. Coming exceptions also we can go to write it. But here observe this one, when the exception is going to fire. So here observe this one, we get the clarity, what is the value of that? What is the value of our addition of 2 columns, addition of 2 values. So 2 values always, what is our logic? The condition is always the combination of 2, addition of 2 values, it is showing only 99. Whenever it is cross the 99, exceed the 99, it is getting the exception. So here also I want to know what is the value. What is the value of z? What is the value here? 110. Is it right or not? Automatic exception is going to fire. Earlier, suppose say example, here observe this one, I am writing 10 and 40. Exception is fired? No, exception does not fire. Means automatically we are going to control our logic. Simple exception. You want to define the exception, sorry, declare the exception and raise the exception and handle the exception. Handle the exception. Suppose here I remove this one. I remove this one. What happened? Observe 10, 20. The output is right. Okay. Again I executed 50 and 80. So here unhandled user defined exception, because of already we raised the exception in our execution block. Suppose you can remove that exception. We can remove the rise exception. What happened? Just you can imagine each and everything. Here I remove that one. I want to print some message, DBMS, something like that. Okay. So just I am going to specify that one. Yeah. Here observe this one. It is observed. Just it is going to show the message only. if in case our value is more than 19, directly I can go to print the message dbms. I didn't handle my error, right? I didn't handle my exception. Just I am going to print the message. It is error, which is the information you can specify that will be going to show us. But we cannot handle the errors. We cannot handle the errors, right? Then next, here observe this one. So there are a lot of exceptions programs are there. Same syntax we should follow. We define the exception, and here I am writing some message. If 2 characters date day equal to sun means Sunday, okay, then rise A. Automatically today is Sunday, our exception is going to fire. My exception rise today. Okay, same logic I am implemented here. And here observe this one. Declare, we define one variable salary and it declare one exception. Select salary into variable from table, and here if salary greater than 2000 then rise A, else update. If the employee salary is greater than 2000, automatically this shows a message, means already high. The salary is already high. If it is low, automatically it is updated. Automatically it is updated. Have we clear or not? So directly I am going to write our own exceptions. Then here observe this one, I am going to build this one and you can easily understand. So before that I want to create a new table. Create table, e table as table is created. Now I am going to write a program. Observe. Okay, first we declare. Okay, now I am going to define sal as a number. So now we are using any table, not a problem. Okay. Percentage type. Then here I define an exception. My exception name is exception. Then next begin. Okay. Here we can implement our logic. What is the logic? Then first we want to get the data, right? First we want to check it. Select sal into vsal from e table where emp number equal to ampersand emp number. Anything you can write it. Parameter only. At runtime I want to check it. Okay. And here yeah. Next I want to, what is that? Yeah, if okay vsal greater than 2000, then we want to rise exception. Rise exception. That exception will be handled in our exception block. Okay, we don't want to write it here. The next else update employee, sorry, e table sal, set sal equal to vsal plus suppose 999. Yeah, then that is enough. Okay, and here okay, and not a problem. Where emp number. Okay, in this point of time we should use the okay, let it be here, check it. Emp number equal to ampersand emp number. Same number I want to pass here. Okay, because of I want to, which is the employee you want to pass it. Here, what is the employee number is going to pass here. The same number I am going to check here. Okay. Then next, and if and exception when e then dbms output dot put line employees salary is high and end. Let it be check it. We can possible to develop this program in different ways also. Employee number. Okay. Before that, I want to check the employees table. So here, what is the employee? Suppose say example 7782. 7782 salary is 2450. Let it be check it. 7782. Then here, now again I am going to give this one. It is not updated. It is clearly show us employees already high. Suppose again I am going to execute that one, and I have a one more. Suppose add up 7876. 7876. 7876. Now it is updated. So here I didn't specify any DBMS output. That is the reason it doesn't show us. Let it be check it. E table. Right. So we are going to easily apply our condition. So, but as per that condition, we are going to raise our exceptions. At any point of time, if you can go, then we can raise our user-defined exception. Lost logic. Right. So in cursor program, we want to use this one. Okay. You can create your own. You can define your own exceptions. That exceptions will be going to rise there. If cursor not found, then exception. Rise exception. Okay, the program is there or not? Last time you done one program. Cursor program, right? The program is there or not? Okay, again you can implement that and you can create your own exception. Okay. Clear? So here, but very simple, we declare the exception and rise the exception and handle the exception. And also here, rising predefined exceptions. So earlier program, we didn't rise our predefined exception, right? Whenever no data found error is occurred from our PLSQL block, execution block, that will be going to handle in exception block, right? But here we have an option. We can also rise the predefined exceptions by using rise type. It's very important. Please keep in mind. Interview point of they're asking this question. Can be possible to rise a predefined exception by using rise keyword or not? Definitely. Whenever we are getting some doubt at the time of programming coding, maybe this error is occurred in this point of time, we can rise the predefined exceptions. We can rise the predefined exception. Here observe this one. If cursor, then job clerk and I am going to open the cursor fetch. If cursor not found. The same example, we can use this one. Directly we can go to rise over that. Okay, user defined also, we can rise it. Predefined also, we can rise it. No data found, it is a user predefined exception, right? So for that purpose, we don't want to implement our own user defined exceptions. Directly we can rise our exception and will be get the output. Okay, let it be check it. And if job equal to clerk, and here what happened? Fetch C1. Yeah. I want to write a simple program. Declare and define a variable v emp percentile row type. And now I want to define so I don't want to define any exception because of I want to rise predefined exception, right? Then now begin. So here observe this one, select star into v from emp. from EMP. Here directly I can write the condition. What is the condition is where job equal to CEO. Where job equal to CEO, but CEO does not available in our database, right? In this point of time earlier, it is showing successfully. No, it is showing successfully, right? When we are using the cursor. When we are using the cursor here, now I want to define that cursor also. Better to do that. Cursor C1 is that one. Cursor name is or as is. Okay. Then here same thing. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Cursor name is select star from EMP. Okay. So I'm defined this variable for while implemented my program. Okay. Then here, what exactly I'm going to write here? First we open the cursor. Open the cursor. Next we start the loop. Fetch C1 into V. Fetch C1 into V. For that purpose I define a variable. Okay. Next here I want to print dbms output dot outline. Okay. First of all we clearly tell that exit when C1% is not found. Okay. And here we want to print rise. Exception is no data found. Rise no data found. And if in case if the data doesn't, if the cursor doesn't have the data, okay, if the cursor have the data, then I want to print the message v dot employee number, v dot ename, v dot job. And next we want to go to what is that? End loop. Oh, sorry. End loop and close C1. Cursor is completed. Then now we can write the exception when no data found, then dbms dot outline. So the job not available. Job not available in the program. Okay, runtime I want to pass that one, then we can check it. If it is there, then it is showing the message. If it is not available, it is raise a exception. Then now job is clerk. What happened? Okay. Yes. Job not available, but clerk is there. 1 second. After that only if okay. Acha. If less, then rise no data found. Loop directly it will be into the now the clock information is displayed, right? So in the same manner again job is not available, it is also fire. Where exactly we done the mistake? If C1% is not found, then huh? Oh, sorry. One second. Here this is the actual program. Here we want to now exit. Still it is showing not available. So it doesn't show that one. To C1. Where exactly it is going to? We don't want to display the job not available. When it is checking whether if it is first it is fetching the data and keep into the variable. If it is okay, it is print the data and it doesn't stop that. Now it is checking if C1 not found, then tries no data found. Okay, and if let it be 1 second. And the loop clerk, but still job not available is also there. Suppose I am executing CEO. It is showing. data does not available, rise more data point, then end it. No, not like that. It is a different one. First fetch the data into variable. So here, if the employee is there, 7788, it is showing the data. If the employee does not available, employee not there. But here we clearly raise our exception. Raise our exception. Clear? Yeah. Let it be. Next we can go for exception raised in exception session. Already I told you. We can possible to write the exception in execution block, and also we can write the exception in exception block here. Then here we want to declare, we define the two exceptions. We declare two exceptions in the declaration block, and begin, again I am going to write a begin. Again I am going to write a two begins. Two begins. In that one, observe this one. This is the first one. The first program, begin and program, directly I am raise the exception, and when the exception is going to fire, it will be print. What is that? A1 is handle. Okay. The next I am going to write exception A2 is going to rise into the next exception. Means exception directly I am going to rise a exception. So here I define the exception, two exceptions. In that two exception, first exceptions I am going to fire in first execution, and second exception I am going to fire in exception session. Means what happened here? We can possible to raise the exception in within the exception block. Within the exception block. Let it be check it whether how it is working. Okay. Declare, we define the exceptions. Exception 1, yeah. Exception E2 exception. So first observe this one. First I am going to define the only begin and exception. Rise E1. Okay. Then now I want to print this. If the exception is rise, I want to print E1 exception and end it. I don't want to write the exception in exception block in this program. Okay. Just I am going to execute this one. Unhandled user defined exception, right? So exception DBMS, write it E1 exception when E1 then. Okay. After this one, now I have a exception. E1 exception, right? Then now I want to handle the second exception. So here it not need to require that. Again I'm write begin. So this begin I am going to close here. Okay, this is one program. Okay, and next here again I am going to write one more exception. One more exception. Then here rise E2 when E2 then when E2 then DBMS E2 exception yet. Now let it be check it what happened. Twice. So here we don't want to write that one. E1 exception is fire, and then E2 want also fire. Okay. Then we want to specify there. Where it is? Yeah. Then here in this first block I am rising E2. I am rising E2. So in the first block, which is the exception is fired, then that exception will be going to handle where? In another exception here. What is this one? This is the first block, right? Okay. In that first block I am rising second exception, that will be going to handle in exception block. Exception will be possible to handle in within the exception block for that purpose. First rise E1, that will be handled in within the block, execution block. Next E2, that will be firing in second exception, insert exception block. Here this is the one logic, right? So in this logic will be rise the E1. E1 will be fire and will be going to fire in this program, and next we have a one more begin logic. In that begin logic will be rise the second exception. That exception will be handled in exception block. Exception within the exception. Exception within the exception. So for interview purpose only I want to show this one. Okay, interview point of they are asking different questions. Both will be fine. Clear on that? Okay. Then next, observe this one. Error trapping functions. It's very important. Error trapping functions. SQL code and SQL error M both are defined by Oracle engine. Okay. So here error code is going to return error number. Error message is written the error number with error message along with error message. Here observe this one. Declare, I define one variable and move into the variable from respected value. I want to print this message. If the error is occurred, it is going to return the error number. If error does not occur, it is going to show us a proper output. Let it be, check it. It's a very important one. Declare, I define one variable, whatever it may be, then we emp percentile row type, and begin, select start into V from M, where MP number equal to percentile MP number. Just I want to pass runtime, and here dbms output dot put line. Okay, then I want to print the EMP number email. Next, I want to know dbms output. Here only I want to print it. SQL space 4 SQL error, yeah. Let it be, oh sorry, yet 7369 underscore unda. Oh sorry, we don't have any spaces. Observe this one. The respected result is completed. What is error? Means error SQL code. It return a number. The number is 0000. Means normal. Means we don't get any error. So here, what is that? It is a normal successfully completion. Successfully error message. This is the default one.
After Smith zeros.
ఇక్కడ ఇదే కదమ్మా ఇక్కడ v డాట్ ఎంప్లాయ్ నంబర్
కింద రిప్లై లో ఓఆర్డి అని వచ్చింది కదా,
ఇదే కదా ఎర్రర్ కోడ్ SQL కోడ్
స్మిత్ పక్కన 0 స్మిత్ 0
yes yes, this is the 0. oh one second యాక్చువల్లీ ఇక్కడ మనము అది ఇవ్వలేదు, అది మిస్టేక్. ఇప్పుడు ఒకసారి చూడండి. The code is 0. 0 means success. We don't get any error. Error లేదు ముందంతో. So we don't have any error. And the next, what is this? SQL error means error code return error message. What is the means SQL code? We don't have any error, zeros. The status is normal, successfully completion. Suppose, say example, I want to execute this one. Now observe this one. It is showing, so no data found because of we don't have any data. So, but why we want to use this one? Why we want to use error trapping mechanism? Clear? So error trapping functions, it is giving the clarity while going to enter into the interface process. Okay, I will implement everything. Every logic will be implemented in our interface process. Okay. Next we can go for rise application error. So that will be discussed in the next class. Okay. Rise application, unnamed exceptions. Yeah. Okay. Let it be. We will be completed this one. Okay. We have only 2 parts. The next we can go for subprograms. Okay. Then here a rise application error. Observe this one. It's very important. Interview point of they're asking. If you want to display your own user defined exception number and exception message, then we can use the rise application error. So here, up to now, we have two specific exceptions: predefined, user defined. We can possible to raise predefined exception as well as user defined exceptions, right? So here, user defined exceptions, we can specify our own exception name. Okay, then whenever we are going to print our own exception, then it is giving the one specific exception number. Now here, observe this one. If you want to display your own user defined exception number, if you want to display your own user defined exception number and exception message, then observe this one. We have a rise application error, error number and error message. Error number and error message. Then here, observe this one. So up to now we are using dbms output.putline, right? While using dbms output.putline, directly we can go to print the message whenever our exception is fired. Predefined or user defined. But here I don't want to use dbms output.putline package. I want to print my own number and my own message. So why we want to go for this one? So here, observe this one. We have user defined exception and predefined exceptions. That will be going to handle the exceptions. Okay, predefined exceptions will be handled whenever we get the no data found on too many rows. Okay, and user defined exceptions, whenever we are getting our own exception, own errors, at the time we can go to use that. Then, but here I want to print my user defined exception with my user defined exception number. My user defined exception number. Here, observe this one. What is this? When exception is fired. Basically, when exception is fired, then will be print. How we are going to print up to that? Now, up to now, we are using dbms, right? But I don't want to use the dbms package. I want to use my own package, means own application error, rise application error. Okay, then here we specify the exception. We specify the exception whenever the exception is occurred. Whenever the exception is occurred, then what happens? I'm going to rise my application error. So whenever we are using this rise application error, what are the keywords we are using? Error number and error message. Suppose if you use the dbms, what happened? It is also one of the trapping mechanism. Okay, it is also clearly shows where exactly our error is occurred. Okay, as per that number we can easily understand where our error is occurred. Then here, observe this one. Error number, it is used to give the error number between minus 20,000 to minus 20,999. Up to that numbers only we can possible to maintain. Say example, whenever we are getting the exception, say here, 1 second. We have a number, right? Okay, we have a proper number. So that number I want to print our own exception numbers also. Here I want to print our own exception numbers and own exception name. Then let us, we are going to develop it. Declare, what is that? Yeah, we want to define exception. No. First we want to define the variable. It is row type. I am going to specify the exception. Okay. Then now I am going to write a specific program. error is select star into v from emp where emp number equal to ampersand emp number. Then next we want to go for if condition. If v dot sal greater than 2000, then we rise our exception. Our exception is going to rise. Okay. Then basically how we can go to write this one. Else if v dot update emp table set salary equal to salary plus no, I will change. Okay, I want to update on my employee salary. Then next, and if we can write the exception here. Basically, how we can write it? When A, then DTMS output dot put line. Salary is high. Otherwise, it is updated. Okay, let it be end. E table. Table is E table. 7902. Again, we are given 7902. Salary is high. You can check it. 7902 is Ford is having 3000. Okay, it is a high salary. Salary is high. But here, I don't want to use these existing predefined exceptions. I want to create my own exceptions. I want to create my own exception numbers. I want to rise that exceptions to my programming logic here in this point of time. Instead of this one, rise application error. Rise application error. Here we can specify the what is the number? Minus 20,000. 20,100 to 20,999, right? Then salary is high. I want to print my own number, exception number, and own message. Okay.
Salary is high.
Right? We can rise our own errors. If in case any error is occurred, it is showing. It is not shown as a exception. It is clearly it is error. Salary is high and it is going to define our exception number. Okay, if you want to print our own exception number and exception names, then we can go for the rise application error. What is that?
Line 13.
Okay. If in case we are using this one, what happen? 7902. Error number argument rise application error 20,000 is out of range. What is the range of number? Minus 20,000 to 20,999. If in case if you want to create your own exceptions in the point of programming, then we can go to use this one. Our own exception names and our own exception numbers. But whenever we are using the own exception names, we are going to specify the exception number. That is important. Clear? Yeah. So next, unnamed exception. Unnamed exception. Okay. So actually unnamed exceptions does not initialize in our this